Hi, thank you for joining me. We will be starting in approximately 1 minute and 43 seconds. Hi, and thank you for joining me on this early Wednesday afternoon. My name is Wayne from Ascend Custom Designs. I'm a small business owner and a part of the xTool Squad program. So what is the xTool Squad, you might ask? Well, the xTool Squad is a global network of experienced makers, educators, and small business owners such as myself. We offer one-on-one demos of the xTool products that we own. So I can't stress that highly enough. We use xTool products in our daily workflow for our businesses. So we are very adept at demoing them, answering questions. And the demos are a mix of online and in person. It really depends on the host. Some hosts will also offer material testing and skill training. Material testing involves testing customer supplied samples under a number of different parameters to get you perfect results. Whereas skill training is essentially a one-on-one masterclass with an xTool Squad member. We will help you skip any learning curve with help from initial setup and maintenance to helping you perfect your projects. If you want to find out more information about that, you can follow the link below. I will also drop in a link in the comments and I'll actually show you on xTool's website. So if you switch over to the browser, along the top, so if we have a look at xTool's main website, along the top here, you'll have local support and then you'll have free product demo. And when you click on that, you are taken here. So all of their products that they offer, you're able to demo either in person or online, absolutely free. I think this is a fantastic opportunity from xTool to get their product out there for people to see it and ask questions, physically touch the machine. If you're wondering, how do I go about finding a host? If you are having trouble, reach out to me. My contact details are in the comments. I will point you to the closest host to you, or if you're fine with doing it online, I'll find someone that can sort that out for you. All I need to know is your contact information and just roughly what city you're from. So if we was to say, look at booking an in-person demo of the metal fab, we'd simply click in person. I'll type in my address. So I'm in the city of Birmingham. And then the metal fab is top of the list. And you've also got this preferred date. The hosts all have their own schedules. We all have lives. So my schedule will be different from Mandy's, for example. But in this case, Mandy's the closest, 46.45 miles from me. Does in person. Let's see what about online. Doesn't do online, but does do in person. So there you have the difference. And it's a simple case of hitting continue. Would help if I follow the prompts properly. And it's literally that simple. I enter in my information, so name, email address, phone number, and the booking is confirmed. And it's literally that simple. We will get an email from xTool and reach out to you. Honestly, I wish this was around when I was looking at my first xTool machine. I was unsure what it could do. Thankfully, I did make the purchase regardless, but it would have been a very helpful tool. And if you're wondering how does a host make the money, what happens is xTool will pay us to demo the machine to you, regardless if you buy the machine or not. And just for transparency, if you do buy the machine, the host will get a small commission. And it's literally that simple. So today I did have an idea of what I wanted to do for the workshop. So it was just going to cover getting started with xTool Studio, so the latest version. However, I have received the O1. So the O1 has arrived, and if I just switch over, you can see just there, this is the O1. If I switch to my camera just here, there we go. So here we have the O1. So I've very scarcely used it. I've done a couple of test prints, and literally that is it. I was in the office to about 1 o'clock in the morning. I didn't start setting it up till about 7 at night. So it takes about an hour to set up, and it follows you through, guides you through all the steps required. So it was pretty straightforward. So it's a bit more intense than a laser, for example. And that's simply because you're just pulling some ink through the ink head. So by that I mean, you get given these syringes and you just have to help the ink along the way. So it takes about an hour in all, and it's well worth it. So I've done a couple of prints. I'm very happy. I put a metal business card in there ready to get going. I've not tested this out, but we will get to it. So if anyone has any questions about the O1, please do drop them in the comments. This machine is up and running and ready for business. So without further ado, if I switch over to xTool Studio, just head back over. So this is the software that will control the O1. So if you're wondering, I was able to do some tests, get some stuff ready before the O1 arrived. And that was simply because when you download xTool Studio, if I was to open up a new tab and just show you, you can test out how much it's going to cost, the time it's going to take. You can do various things without actually owning the machine. And that's simply, you go up to here, switch device, and you got this device library. And you can select any of xTool's devices and just have a play with it. You can't engrave anything, obviously, because you don't have the machine, but you can give it a test. Now, I have only done limited testing on my O1. And by that, I mean, if I go to device control, maybe, no, not maintenance. There we go, settings. If I go to settings, you can see I got a warranty, I got it all linked. Operating time 12 times, running time 5 hours, working time 0.5 hours, 30 minutes. I have not used this machine at all, and I'm very, very confident that I can get stuff working on this machine from the get-go. So like I said, I was originally just going to demo the machines I got here in the office, some of the new features of xTool, but I figured why not do that, but with the new O1. So a couple of things. I have done a few test prints. So if I was to show you the couple of test prints that I've done, that might be helpful. So you have one of 3 prints you can do when you do this. I actually cancelled out of the test print. I wouldn't recommend it, but I did, simply because I wanted to do a slightly textured surface, not a normal print. So this is actually very textured. I can feel it as I run my finger along it. And this is a ceramic magnet. So you get 3 of these in your pack, at least I did in my O1. And you can just see the quality of it. It's absolutely fantastic, vibrant colors. So it's 3 different cats, I believe. Now, I also printed my wife and Chuck. on there. This I did a higher raised surface. So I did a thicker surface when it was raised. So it took about 8 minutes. So it's added a few things in there, but this still looks absolutely fantastic. And I also, if my customer's watching, did this on clear acrylic. She was wondering how you get a nice pattern design like you would see on TikTok of some of the acrylics. So some acrylic can have candy stripes or stripes inside the actual acrylic. It's actually quite difficult to get that here in the UK. So one of the ways you can do it is UV print that on. So this is color white color. So this is the side I printed on. I can feel it. So I did color, then there's a white layer, and then this color again. So you get that pattern on both sides. The back actually looks fantastic. I quite like that. And that was just on some simple clear acrylic. And then I did do another print. And I did it on a very dirty, very scratched up. I don't know why you can see it. I didn't clean it. It had fingerprints on there. And I wanted to do this to highlight something. So what I want to do today is do another print. I'm going to print the same thing on a fresh dog tag, but I'm also going to use the UV primer wipe for metal. So you might be thinking this can print on anything. It can. So the problem with UV printer printing on very smooth surfaces is its ability to adhere to the surface. Because it's not porous, it's very smooth, it can flick off. So I've literally scraped the Al off of this. But what I'm going to do is put this primer wipe on a few of the metal tags that I have here. Brand new tags, they're exactly the same. These are all xTool material, but you could use your own. These wipes are available on xTool's website. And this isn't normal ink. I don't know how well this will show up. I use fluorescent ink on this, and you can see there the color. So this is a UV light, and you can see just how bright that shines. It's absolutely amazing in person. I don't know how well that's coming across, but that looks absolutely fantastic. So what we'll do to begin with is we will use the wipes on a few of these pieces of material. So it's just going to be a case of opening them up. This is a very rushed live from me, so I do apologize if this lacks some structure. I wasn't sure if the O1 will be ready with how late I was setting it up last night for today. I'm happy with how things went last night. So when you do use these wipes, there is a warning in terms of the odor, as well as not touching it. So I'm going to put on, and this is the first time I've used these wipes, by the way. I've not used Yep, it's definitely got a strong smell to it. And it says leave it for I'm just going to put these up on the side as I do this. I'm just going to hold them here. Just kind of smells like nail varnish remover. So I'm literally the one wipe can be used on more than one dog tag. So don't think you're limited to one wipe per item. And again, I'm just putting these up, and it says it takes about 6 minutes. So this is something I've engraved on. So I'm just gonna do the opposite end, because this is metal. And again, there's different ones you can get for different things. So there's one for acrylic and plastic, and there's also one for ceramic. Let's see what else. That's pretty much it. So what I'm going to do is put this back in the in there. It does say use tweezers. I'll just put that there, and I'll take this off. And literally, that's all I've done. So while that's happening, what we will do is we will do a test print on a metal business card. I probably could have wiped it down, but I don't have 6 minutes to wait. So the metal business card is over here. So if I was to just show you. So we've got the metal business card on the bed. And what I'm going to do is we're going to do a scan. And then I'll run over and we can have a look at what happens. So I have the smaller bed installed. So I've selected the smaller bed, and I'm simply just going to hit the scan button. So I'm going to hit the scan button. I'm going to go over and just show you how it looks. So right now it's going inside. I've removed the front lid, so it's magnetically attached. You can see it there. So the back lid is in there. You can see the red line there. There we go. And it will move over it. Okay. And it will appear. There we go. In software. So again, this is the 01. So I can tell right away it's not even straight. But anyway, so we'll leave that there. So this is something I printed earlier. That was the dog tag that I showed you that used the color and fluorescent yellow. So we'll leave that because we'll reprint that and give it a try on a dog tag that has the primer on it. So right now, what shall we print on this? We can create something with AI, which I'm actually very inclined to do. So what I'll do is I'll simply find something that I've already generated, actually, like an image. I think there's something I already printed. Yes, me, family and the dog. So this is some pop art that I used AI make. And what I'm going to do now is do this smart mask. So if I was to show you before the smart mask, I guess, right now it's analyzing the image. If I just cancel that, if I drag and drop this over, I would have to try and size it up to get it to fit in there, as you can see. Otherwise, it's going to print over it. So Gone are those days. So if you do this smart mask, it will analyze the material. You can see there it's found it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down the setting. So I'm going to drop down the offset. So if I do this, you'll notice that it shrinks. So if I show you the difference, so on the first print that I did with this, there was no offset. So you can see absolutely no offset. And it did a pretty good job. Now this has that little offset. And I actually prefer this. So it depends if you want edge to edge printing on something. I actually prefer this look on this. So in this case, I am going to have an offset. And the offset I found that works for me, or the one that I've always similarly liked, is about 7 or 8. So in this case, I'm going to go 7. Just a little offset. Hit apply. Now, you can see up here, Smart Mask has been created. You can disable it via right-click menu if needed. So if I right-click here, disable Smart Mask. So you can disable that Smart Mask. Now, if I move over this, you can see what the Smart Mask does. In fact, it's fit it on there. So you can see why it's called a Smart Mask. And if I click on this, what do we want to do? White and color. I think that's a good shout because it's black material. And there are different things that I actually want to trial with metal business cards. So metal business cards have a color. So in this case, it's black. I have red, green, blue business cards. Now I was thinking of just printing black over the business cards, and where I want the text, I don't print at all. So it leaves the natural business card underneath and it kind of pops. So that's my idea, and I probably will get round to doing it. I won't test it out live, as I need to do, I'd probably spend 20 minutes getting it set up, the template. But once I've got a template set up, I will give it a go and let you know how it goes. So what I can do here is I'm going to move that out there. Actually going to expand this. I'm going to crop it the way that I like it. I'm going to do it like that. See how that comes out. Much better. Okay. So the color that we've selected is white and then color. So if I just make this full screen, just so you can really see what I'm doing. So again, this is the 01. If I see the preview, you can see here that it's white and then color. So on the acrylic one, I did color, white color. And if I show you the same thing, it's because you wanted, it was transparent. You can see the back. So rather than just see white on one side, so we'll have just the color, white color, or the white and color instead of color, white color. And it's just that simple. Now, if I hit process, I should probably choose the right material. So this can make a difference. If I select metal business card, and it is telling me here the surface of the selected material does not adhere to ink well, which may affect adhesion, color performance, durability, or print success rate. Pre-treating the material surface before printing is recommended. So I should note that the business card that I've got in here has got fingerprints on it, smudged. I've not done any pre-treatment. I don't expect it to succeed, to handle well, but we'll see how it goes. Then we'll do a test with these metal tags that I've pre-treated, and I'll do the locket again. And this will be for my dog. So this is the one that I scratched off the L of. And we'll just see how well it adheres when the surface is clean and the primer / promoter has been used. And I'll show you where you can find that on the website. I should also note right now, xTool's running a promotion. If you use the code Wayne 6%, you'll get 6% off any of xTool's models except the M2, the O1, and the Wonderpress. However, if you use the coupon code Wayne20, you should be able to get a £20 discount on the O1. I don't know if it works for the Wonderpress, but it should work for the O1. We'll give it a try when I show you the wipes. So we're going to hit print now. So if I just hit process, it's calculating. It's going to take 4 minutes, 12 seconds, and it's going to use about 2p's worth of ink. And if you're wondering what the cost settings, I've added a little bit of price to them. In fact, I've got no price set for this. So I'm just going to go 30, 30, 30, 30, hit confirm. So it's going to use about 3p's worth of ink. So you can enter the cost. You could enter the cost to you, or you could enter the cost with your markup, so you know roughly how much to charge. Now, if I hit print, it's simply going to heat up. So print head is below the recommended temperature. So it's pretty cool in the office. So right now it's at 25.8 and 26 degrees. So it shouldn't take too long to heat up. So didn't have this issue last night because the office was absolutely roasting. And while that is doing that, if I switch over to Safari, while it's heating up the print head, once the print head is at the optimal temperature, you don't have to worry about anything. So if we go over, here is the O1. So right now, in terms of price, here is to hit buy now. You've got a couple of different options. I should say 3 options. You've got the single UV, the dual UV, and the DT plus UV. So the model that I'm using, which is the dual UV, just the standalone is about £2,500. Now, if we have a look in my basket, so this is the exact model that I have. So it's a dual UV versatile bundle. I have the rotary device as well as the laminator and roll feeder. Those are yet to come though, the roll feeder and the laminator. So those are still en route to me. But if I was to hit checkout and just see the coupon code Wayne20 should give me an additional £20 off. There we go. So if you're looking to buy an Omni, and again, reach out to me. My contact details are in the comments. I can offer you a slight discount off xTool's list price. So if you are unsure about buying a machine, want more information, please do reach out to me. I'll drop my information in the comments again. So you can reach out and I can do a host assist order with a slight discount on it. If we go back to the O1 and explore more, so they're 27 degrees at the moment. If I make this full screen. So with the O1, you do have 3 different versions. And if you want to know exactly what's different between them, I can go through the tech. So you have the single UV, the dual UV, and the UV plus DT fabric. So all models, so this is all those models above, all 3 models, they use the cyan, magenta, yellow, black, white, and varnish UV ink. So all of them can do that, and all of them can print on rigid surfaces. Now, the dual UV has the ability to have this rigid white ink and flexible white ink, as well as the fluorescent red ink and fluorescent yellow ink. So that's only on the dual UV models that have that. They have all the ink above plus the additional ink. Now the UV plus DT only, they have the cyan, magenta, yellow, black, white varnish UV inks, and they have the cyan, magenta, yellow, black, and white fabric ink. So fabric ink is if you are printing on fabrics or are doing any type of work. And then the print resolution is 720 by 1440 dots per inch up to. And they all have the pixel scan vision technology, which maps out kind of like a scanner maps out the material, and they all have G7 color accuracy and come pre-assembled. And there is a little bit of unboxing to do. I can just hear the 01 kick in. So if I just switch over, so you can see here, printer cleaning in process, in progress. So I've not used it since yesterday, and we'll see how this is. So honestly, I printed my last thing about 1:30, I think. So this is going to take 4 minutes. So if I just shoot over here and grab the iPhone and just show you what's going on. So you should hopefully be able to see. So it should do it's doing a layer of white first. And there is a very subtle smell. It's not overpowering, I will say that. If I switch back over. And I will try and get some better camera angles. Unfortunately, it's just where the machine is located. Hi, Claire. The M2 is a fantastic piece of kit. So I do use the M2 regularly. So I use it to cut out a lot of wood. I'm actually planning on Friday at 12 to do the print and cut feature with the M2. So if I just minimize this and just kind of show you what I mean by that, when you go to the home screen and hover under new project, you've got this multi-device mode. So I plan on printing to some wood using the 01 and then cutting it out using the M2. So I've not trialed that out yet, but that's my plan for Friday if you're interested in joining us. And I should also say there is a competition. So if you're interested, if you scan the QR code on screen or go to the website, I'm going to drop in the comments, there is a giveaway. For a chance to win a £50 consumable voucher from xTool, go to lucky.ascendcd.com and enter in your name and email address. I think it'll have a drop down with your language, and that's mostly so they know what to send you the voucher in if you do win. So euros, dollars, pounds in this case. So please do check it out. It's free to enter. I highly recommend it. The more people that enter, obviously the less chance you have, but the less people that enter, the more likelihood you're going to be the one that wins it. If I just have a quick look over here and we see just how it's printing. You can see nearly finished. It's looking absolutely fantastic. So this is a fairly big machine. So I can just about open the lid and it comes up just a little shorter than the beam. So I'm glad I did my measurements. So you do need some space. You need at least 40 centimeters clearance at the back. And that is because the lid will come down. So when you use the bigger base plate, the A3 size, you do need that clearance at back. And at the front, I don't have 40 centimeters, but I do because obviously I can step back. So I could bring this closer if needed. So I've just taken off the front lid. You can see there just how it's looking. So I've not printed on a metal business card yet. Okay, it's done. So this is still fairly new to me. So the first real experience I got with the 01 was at the xTool truck in Bristol. That's why I wasn't online. So I'm going to hit this button here and it will allow me to get it out. So look at that. What do people think of that? And so this mat here is kind of sticky. So I'm going to put the phone down. I'm going to switch over and I'm going to get this out of the base plate or off the base plate. There we go. And I will drop this under the desktop. So look at that. So 4 minutes. And realistically, there's a couple things that I should have done. So when I was printing this, I realized it. So this is, you could say, a flexible material. So if I just leave that there for a second, if I kind of show you in here, so when you print, I mentioned that the dual UV has the ability to print, and it did actually, I did do it right. Whew. Okay, so here, that rigid white ink, I actually should have done flexible white ink. So the reason for that is, excuse me, if you're printing on flexible surfaces, so for example, leather, this is flexible. This is also flexible. If I bend this will break. This ink will break. If I use the flexible white ink, that wouldn't happen. And maybe keep this, and next on Friday, I'll do a flexible white one and we'll bend these. So I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to put that there and I'll give people one last look at it. So again, absolutely fantastic. And what we'll do is we'll do a test with that. So these have been more than 6 minutes. So I'm just going to drop one of these in to the base plate of the O1. And we will print on this again. And I'm simply press the button. I'm gonna move this out of the way and I'm gonna save this project. So I've saved it, you can see that. And I'm gonna move this up after I change it to the appropriate material. So dog tag, we've applied that and we're gonna hit scan. So again, now that I've hit scan, I'm going to show you what is happening in the bed. So if we shoot over to here, it's going in here. So you can see that red light just here. And now it's mapped it and it's gonna go all the way back. And it's that simple. So if I switch back over to promotion, there we go, it's popped up on the screen. Now, I'm simply just gonna drag and drop this back on as is. I will do a mask, and that's simply because it allows me to align it a lot easier. So if I hit this mask, it's analyzing it right now. I'm going to do the edges, so I'm going to make offset a little bit more. There we go. Hit apply. And you can see that it's kind of got the middle. So I'm actually happy with that. What I'll do is I'll make this a little smaller. I want to fit this on. There we go. And again, when I print this, it's on rigid because this is a rigid surface. So rigid white. So I could just use my normal white ink, which is small. It's a smaller cartridge. In this case, because I have the dual UV, I have that ability to use the rigid white ink and the flexible white ink. And if you're doing a lot of base layers of white, having this ink is a very, very good idea. So I click on that, you got the fluorescent, and I'm just going to do color plus fluorescent yellow. So in this case, it's not going to do a white undercoat, it's just going to do color plus a fluorescent white. So I could do white color fluorescent, which would give that a try. So that's that rigid white ink. Then it's the color, then it's the fluorescent yellow. If we hit process, ink is already warmed up. And again, cost settings. You can see I've added in some costs there. And the cost is so little. If I make this full screen, it's 0.0006. It's literally not even pennies. So if I hit print, the ink has already warmed up, or the ink heads, the print head has already warmed up. I will go over to here and I will grab the iPhone again and just show you. So this is where it's doing the white ink first. Then it will do the color, and then it will do the fluorescent ink afterwards. And again, if we just have a look here, and again, I'm right by this, there is a slight smell, but it's not overpowering. It's not like the normal resin smell that you would get when you are mixing resin. And what I'll do here, so you can see some ink. So here, just below here, you can clean that out. So I'm going to go through all of that live at some point and just show you. So this is not a maintenance-free machine. There are maintenance steps that you have to take to keep this machine up and running. So one of them is keeping it plugged in and turned on. If you're away for any length of time, you have a vacation mode. And there's some technology in this that keeps it working if you do the right steps. So do bear that in mind when purchasing the machine. This is a machine that likes to be used right now. It's printing the fluorescent ink. I know that because I can see how well it looks under the UV light, and it's done. So now that it's done, it's going to come down. And once the bed reaches the bottom, I can then press this button here to make the bed extend out all the way. So you see here, it's made the beep sound. This color's changed to a solid blue. I don't know how well that comes out on the camera, but when I press it, this is what I get. So it's stuck. This is a very sticky mat. So if you've used like a Cricut mat, so this is what we got. So what I'll do now is I will switch over and we'll have a look at this underneath the desktop camera. Look at that. So this one here is with the primer and without the primer. I can feel it. I can kind of feel that surface kind of feels a little weird, and that's probably definitely the primer, I would say. Now if I get the UV light, so I've got this UV light, a little bit of selfless a plug here for Lumi. So they do some amazing jewelry. They actually use the xTool F2 as well. Do check them out. But you can see the look that you get when you use this UV light. It really does just light up. And we'll do a scratch test. I was able to scratch that off. See, look, I was able to scratch that off. And I'm not able to scratch that off with my fingernail. I mean, I don't have long fingernails, but you can just see that I scratched that off. And this, again, is why we use the primer wipes. For this primer wipe, it works. So if I was to switch over to Safari and just show you, I guess, the wipes. So if we go to the top and go to material, and you can go to UV printing. So what I'll do too is I will drop xTool select material in the chat. If you're looking to purchase something like this, again, reach out to me. I might be able to offer you a slight discount off the list price. So here I have the primer wipes. So right now, for the glass and ceramics are out of stock. So mine's pre-ordered. So I've got them on pre-order. I have 2 boxes of metal and 4 boxes for acrylic. So I have an absolute ton of these ready for Christmas. So I order my stuff well in advance, and they do work. You get 50 pieces a box. And again, don't feel like you have to use one wipe per thing. I could have done 20 of the dog tags with one wipe, easy. And it is very saturated in whatever liquid it is. So it's actually does its job. So I will be doing more testing with the primer wipes when we need it, maybe when we don't. Typically speaking, I would say if the surface is very smooth, so like this, I didn't use it on this, so I'm going to be trying to pick away at it. But I do like the way that this looks. So when you do something clear, you do have to put something underneath. So in this case, when I printed on this, I put a white piece of paper in the A3 bed because this is too big for the bed that's in there at the moment. Put it underneath and it was able to detect it. So the light goes through it because it's clear. But it worked quite well. And I think it took 8 minutes to print this, which you might think that's a long time. But think of the cake toppers. So if you're into cake toppers and things like that, how would this revolutionize your business? So it gives a lot of food for thought. So we'll be doing a lot of testing as the days go on. I have lots of different material. I will be printing on flexible material like this leather. So I do have some xTool leather. Obviously, I've got some ceramic. I've got one more of these and I've got some of my own. So I do want to print some Christmas baubles. And the final thing that I did print actually that I didn't show yet is I printed my dog onto some wood. So this is a wooden bauble. I did it in the Aston Villa colours because I'm from Birmingham. Grew up in Aston. So I support my local team, which is Aston Villa. So I feel like this is going to be a good gift to give to some of my family members. Hopefully they're not watching. So I plan on printing it on clear acrylic, roughly the same size, and do the color white color. So you get that on the back as well as the front, similar to how it was on this. So obviously, if you print any text, it will be inverted on the back. So plan accordingly when you do that. Use the preview to see how it looks. This has turned out quite well. I did do some raised surface on this, and I was able to flick off some of it But for the most part, the detail on this is absolutely phenomenal. If I was to just show you how it looks, the detail on this is absolutely phenomenal. But even to the point where the little dot there, you can kind of see the raised surface. My wife has yet to see this, so I'm going to take this up after to show her. So I can print on the back as well. So, but this so far has blown my mind, especially given how aggressively it's priced. So if anyone is looking for anything in particular for me to demo on the O1, if you're considering it and you say to me, Wayne, I've got acrylic, how does it print on acrylic? This is what I'm looking for. I'll absolutely help you out. I can tell you. In fact, if you was to send me your file, I can do a small test if need be. But for the most part, I'm happy printing pretty much anything on clear acrylic. And this is just some clear acrylic I had left over from Hobbycraft. So when I got married, these were the signs, the acrylic signs. I didn't use them. I needed just the stands, and I did my own thing with the lasers. I cut stuff out and engraved stuff, so I didn't need these acrylic pieces. So I've got them as test material, and I do have my own supply of samples of acrylic, of ceramic. So come Christmas time, I'm going to be using a variety of materials, and I just want to see what gives the effect I want. So this is just a little bit of wire to hang up the ceramic bauble or Christmas decoration. And I think this goes well, so I can buy these for just over £1 locally. There's a local company in Birmingham that sells these. In fact, I can go and collect them if need be. So where possible, and it makes financial sense, I try and source material locally. I know that's not always possible. Sometimes it's easier to, or more cost effective to order abroad, which more than often than not is the case. But in this case, I'm able to, rather than stock large supplies here in the office, I can use a local company. So I'm going to try printing on one of these. So I might save that for a test for Friday. So if you're interested, Friday, I'll print on some ceramic or some more ceramic, because the magnets, it should be the same process as printing on the magnets that come with the O1 as a test. I'm very, very happy with this machine, how easy it's been for me to use. And again, if I was to show you just some of the stuff that you can do. So you've got that smart mask. So when it scans the material, you can use that smart mask, so you get a very tight print to the borders, and you can adjust how close it gets to the border so there's no overspill. And you have a variety of options when you print. So in terms of colors that you can do, ways that you can do it. So for example, with this one, I use that rigid white ink on that metal business card, where in reality it should have been that flexible white ink. So we will test how that copes with being bent on Friday, hopefully. This is my dog. You can see here. And that was the print I printed on the A3 bed on the acrylic. And when you do just click on this, you do get a preview here. If I make this full screen, if I click on this, you get a preview. And again, I can just turn that and I can see straight away this is white backing with color on top. When I click on this, it's the same thing. Now if I changed it, so I changed it back, and we do a simple color, white color, which is how I printed it. You can see. Now if I was to maybe add some text, so if I was to say Wayne 20, put the coupon code. So if you're interested in buying, we'll go fill and we'll go black, and we'll group it together. We still have that mask on, so I'm going to right click, disable smart mask. Just do a preview, just so you can see. You might be saying, wait a minute, it's not showing that on the back. And the reason for that is, if I was to ungroup this, this is just doing white color. Now if I was to have this incorporated into this design here, it would do color, white color, and that would be backwards. So you can layer things. So this is how it's going to look. I'm going to print white first and then print on top of that print. And I've not messed around with it, but there's going to be a way where you can incorporate that into the design, so it's on the back as well. And for me, that is going to be a case of, if I do this and I just copy and paste it, I'm actually then going to mirror it. I click on this, and you're going to have a reflect. And what I'll do is I will say arrange and backwards, center back. Now I hit preview. And in this case, you can see straight away the issue that I've got is it's gone white black. So it's done color white color. So if I was to just move them there, and in this case, at the one that's reversed, I'm going to do color them white. If I was to move these into each other, move this back where I want it, and again preview it. And again, this is not really stuff I've tested out yet, but you can make it so it's the same on both sides without being mirrored in that way. Is this the best way to do it? I don't know. I'm going to be testing out this machine just like you guys. Again, if you're interested in finding out more information, please do reach out to me. My contact details are in the comments. And again, there is a lucky draw. So the more people that enter, the more chance or the less chance you have to win. But the less people that enter, the more chance you have to win. So you got nothing to lose from entering the competition. So this is across Europe as well. I should state that. So it's not just for people that are viewing my lives, but it's for people that are viewing the lives in Europe. So France, Italy, Spain. My colleagues over there do lives on their Facebook, xTool's Facebook, as well as YouTube channels. So again, you might find that you are lucky enough to win because so few people entered, which sometimes is the case. So please do check it out. xTool also do have a UK Facebook group. I'm going to drop their Facebook of just their overall Facebook. So they do have a UK Facebook. I don't have the link for that at the moment. I do have the link for the small business group, which is xTool in general, all regions. So you'll get people from America posting, people from Europe, and it's been rebranded to the xTool X1 Laser official group. So if you've not heard about the X1, boy oh boy, it's a fantastic looking machine. It's going to make a debut at the event in Germany. Let me just see when that is. I think it's on Saturday. So Saturday, 9 o'clock, they're having a live stream from IFA in Berlin, I believe it is. And the X1 is going to be there. Some of my co-workers that was there at the Bristol event. So I went down on Friday to Bristol to help xTool out with the xTool truck. Got to meet some of my fellow hosts, and boy oh boy are they fantastic people, very knowledgeable. I learned a lot while I was there. I got to put faces to names, and it was just fantastic all around to be able to meet them and have a play with all the different machines. So I was able to have a look at the metal fab up close and personal, see how much I wanted at the apparel printer, even though I don't have space. So the apparel printer was just popping out DTF. The Wonder Press was pressing it, and we made a lot of people's days while we was there. And I'd seen it as an educational thing. So there was a lot of people that had no exposure to xTool, no exposure to lasers in general. There was a fair few younger people there, so it was an honor to be able to educate them and just see how much knowledge they had in terms of lasers and 3D printing and all sorts. So it was a wonderful experience all around. I highly recommend any events that xTool have. If you're local to them, come check it out. I know xTool are in Birmingham this month, at the end of the month at the NEC. I will get information about that and make sure I post it frequently on my live. So if you're ever wondering about seeing any of these machines up close and personal, that is also a very good way to get to see the machines in action, not just one machine, but usually a whole array of xTool machines. I'm not sure which ones will be at the NEC just yet. So again, I'll get that information and let you know in due course. But again, if you have any questions about any of the machines, please do reach out. My contact details can be found on the screen now. So I will just put them out there. So my contact details are down below. So wayne@ascendcd.com, +44 7846 110270 is my phone number. So you can call me, text me, WhatsApp me, whatever's easiest. And if in doubt, go to info.ascendcd.com and all my social media accounts there. You can reach out to me there. So thank you so much for joining me. I will be next online on Friday, and it will be 12 o'clock, and I'll be online again on Saturday, and we will be doing a Amazon promotion on Saturday. So please do check us out for that. So you can buy from Amazon. So if you're wondering, in terms of payment details, sometimes it's easier to pay in 3, and Amazon might allow you to do that better than xTool's website. So that might be an option if you're trying to spread the cost. And there might be a discount from buying via Amazon. So I will give more information about that on Saturday. And again, I'll be doing more on the O1 on Friday and Saturday at 12 o'clock noon. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you again on Friday.